All this talk of boxing fights, they want 50%, Usyk's and all this, Tyson's being greedy. Where I'm standing, Usyk, you and your team are worth 30%. You either take it or you leave it. And if you don't want it, go and fight Daniel Dubois at the Copper Box and get a few $1 million. If you want to make some real money, come and fight the Gypsy King. But I will say, for every day from today that you linger, mess around, I'm going to deduct 1% from the 30%. So every day I'm going to deduct 1% until you take it. And if you don't take it, fight Dubois for $2 million. Not a problem. But how in the world could Jews ever offer me a deal? Not possible. TikTok, pussies.
I accept your offer. 70-30 split to fight with you on April 29th at Wembley. But you will promise to donate to Ukrainian immediately after the fight. On £1 million on every day of your deal, you will pay 1% from your poorest to Ukrainian people. Deal.
Fury versus Usyk is on, and we might have our first undisputed heavyweight title fight in a very long time. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the StayWeighedIn podcast. My name's Abbas. I'm joined by my co-host, the legend himself, recovering from COVID in 2023. Ray, how you doing, man?
We're back, man. I can't believe this has struck me now. This is crazy. I never got it at its height, and I get it now. But recovered. So we're all good with high spirits and hopefully some better boxing news.
Let's go straight into it then. Let's recap what this week kind of entailed before we got to this particular point. It looked like we were never going to get this fight, and looked like it was a way off, and Usyk was all set to face Dubois. And at the last minute, you started getting a few messages. People, you had Fury making out videos. Usyk's team set out the 60-40 split to the winner. Fury retaliates, saying no, he wants 70-30. And Usyk can't match us. He calls him out, and it says, I'll take that deal, but you've got to donate $1 million to Ukraine, kind of putting Fury in a position where he can't not accept. And for all intents and purposes, it looks like that's it, done deal kind of thing. And we're on April 29th now. So I guess my first question to you is, are you surprised at how these negotiations planned out, or the pre-negotiations planned out so easily online, or not?
No, I've been saying this about the guy for how long? Like, this is nasty behavior. The fighting, man. I don't do it for money. I donated my whole fight person's charity. And I think even Fury fans start to turn on him because they're starting to realize this guy, this chat's nonsense. Like, the fact that you made it 70-30 is nasty. I'm not trying to be funny. When you've got one belt and other guys got 3, how the hell are you trying to, like, because what was Dillion's one, like 20%, and then he gets like 5% if he wins? Like, it's just nasty stuff, and it's not like, it's just BS after BS, and it just seemed like he just kept on trying to make an excuse, and people are now seeing him for the money-hungry person he is, and I don't even mind if it's prize fighting at the end of the day. Squeeze every bit of juice out of it that you can, but it's the fact that you've modeled yourself off of being a people's person, and I'd fight for free, and I'll give it to people for free. And the funny thing is, Usyk has been everything that Tyson Fury has marketed himself to be. Fighting, man, that's Usyk. This guy wins the belts wherever you are, he'll go get it. He always fights on the road. He's taken less pay because he actually wants the championships. He actually got the AJ first Usyk fight for free on TV in Ukraine. But then Fury does all this talk and people bought it. Like, I don't understand how you bought it. So then all them times when the AJ fights fell through and people thought it was AJ or Hearn, I said, now you know who the real culprit is.
So it's interesting you say that, because I kind of got a similar sense online. I use that as an indicator rather than anything else now, rather than the streets. Use online as an indicator. It seems like a lot of people have kind of gone in the same wavelength, where Fury's just talking, Usyk's the guy in terms of this. Now, the date itself is April 29th at the setting at Wembley. Considering it's March 12th right now, realistically, is that enough time for the production, promotion, fight camps, or is this just a date that will potentially be moved down later on down the line?
I think they've had the day in question for a while, but it was just more of like the negotiations needed to be ramped up. And I think, yeah, they're probably getting to the point where, like WBA was saying, they're going to make the Dubois fight if this doesn't happen. So I think it's a case of that date's always been there, but negotiations just been ongoing. So it's just a case of Fury playing hardball, just saying, if I don't get what I want, the fight's not happening. And to be fair, and the funny thing is, apparently this is the same tactics he tried to do with the Saudis, and the Saudis told him basically to F off. Like, so it's clearly a pattern here of one person that's always messing up these negotiations, because I'm not trying to be funny. Usyk's managed to fight in those places, no problem, get a healthy amount of money. And then Fury's like, you can never negotiate these type of things. And you wonder why it falls through. And then it's like just stuff like, I think for me, his resume, this is the only fight that will take him apart from AJ. Because when people try to say about Fury's the best ever heavyweight and this, that, and the third, which is nasty because you're not even the best British heavyweight, that's Lennox Lewis. His resume is nasty. Other than, yeah, he's got checkered victories over Klitschko, which we can't keep on bringing up because it's so far way back. And then, 3 fights with Wilder. I can't give you GOAT status over beating Wilder 3 times. That's nasty. And then in between those fights, you got Wallin, you've got Chisora, and then you got Dillian White. No disrespect to them guys, but they're not the upper echelon in their divisions. And then, so now I'm just looking at his resume. Don't get me wrong, if he beats Usyk, he is the guy of this generation. He still can't talk to Lennox Lewis. But it's just, I'm honestly, I'm at a point, I'm just ready to be done with this division and fight. I hope Usyk wins, but I'm just ready to be done with this whole division now, man.
I was going to say, so for me, looking at it, like I said, it'll be an interesting indicator when this fight gets officially confirmed and what the betting lines would be. Because for me, I'd look at this fight and Fury would be the outstanding favorite.
Yeah.
Would you say similar? Because I guess in a way, Usyk's also a slick boxer, but Fury is also going to have that, I guess you call it, traditional heavyweight height and build type of feel. Whereas I think even though Usyk's got all the belts 3 out of the 4, again, he's coming up. Fury's always been here and been there and done that type of thing at heavyweight. So would you say this fight, Fury is the overwhelming favorite, or is it a lot more closer than it should, than a lot of people might give it credit for?
It's closer. I think Usyk showed in the second AJ fight that he can make adjustments in the middle of the rounds. Because remember, there was the time when AJ was building momentum, and then I think it's like round 10, Usyk just came out and started putting it on him in a way that I was just like, that is scary to do at heavyweight. And I feel like now it's not a case of, oh, has Usyk feel that his heavyweight frame? I think now he's just heavyweight now. Obviously, Tyson Fury is one on the biggest scale of heavyweights, but I don't think Usyk's going to be in there struggling. I think here's the thing as well. A lot of, I'm not going to say the name, a lot of the shows that Fury fights on, a lot of that promoted shows, he's had a lot of, all I'm saying is that they've had a lot of decisions that's looked wayward of late, whether it was the Dubois fight or whether there's another fight that happened and then it was either the scorecard or a doctor stoppage that everyone was just looking at like, how did that happen? And I'm scared that Usyk's not going to get a fair crack with this happening in Wembley. I was happier for this fight to happen in Saudi, because I would have been like, all right, cool. Don't get me wrong, corruption can still happen abroad, but it's like less options. But you know, it's like when the Dubois fight happened, everyone saw it, and then it's just like, how do you get dropped 3 times and then somehow the guy just doesn't finish? Yeah.
No, I get that. I get that completely. I guess what I want to then touch on quickly then is, I know we're super early stages, there's no press conference and stuff. This fight, how is it going to be built? You said earlier, Usyk's got 3 belts, Fury's got 1. based off the split, it looks like Fury is the A team. Is it going to be built Fury versus Usyk or Usyk versus Fury? And I guess in a way, do you think Usyk really cares?
Usyk doesn't care. For Usyk, it's just like, I want them belts. Usyk's on the thing of, I want all the belts. Have whatever A-side stuff that you want, have it. And the funny thing is, we still don't know none of these box office numbers that Fury keeps on wanting to act like he's the A-side. Cool. He is in this fight, fair enough. But he's still not that box office draw that he thinks he is. And I think, to be fair, it's come at the wrong time for him because there's a cost of living crisis and people don't want to shell out as much money for stuff that they want to see. And I think with Fury, he's still always chasing that. He wants to be the beloved person. It's so funny. I don't think I've seen a boxer on that scale that wants to be beloved so much, but keeps on shooting himself in the foot so much at the same time.
I think I want to touch on something just quickly then.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you said it, cost of living, because we've talked about it before. You even said it to me, you go, that I think at this point, these big events, they're just too out of normal people's price range. We've got a stadium fight, London. In terms of pricing then, how are they meant to price this where it's fair for everyone to be able to go, but again, to be able to make money? Like if you're pricing this, what we're looking at as a fair markup to be able to get fans in who are like, do you know what, we can afford this fight, or it's worth us to pay the money for this fight.
The only thing I can think of is that the nosebleeds are going to be the only reasonably priced tickets. And even when I say reasonably priced, I mean the nosebleeds are probably going to be the only tickets over £100, under £100. And that's hopefully, that's being optimistic, because there might be a chance that those nosebleeds are going to be over 100. And then once again, I'm not paying over 100 for nosebleeds. I mean, under like around 100 something for nosebleeds. That is nuts. To each their own. I'm not. I can't do it. If I'm paying to go watch a fight, is either level 1 or.
Nah, I hear that.
Being sport. I'm just, the thing is, you know what it is? In the last decade or so, I've been able to go to sporting events and I've been used to watching it at that level. So then now that they've increased the price to a certain point, I'm just like, I'm not what. I'll either watch it at level 1, so it's like decent view and everything, or I'm like, I'm all right, man. There's no event for me, to be honest, right now, where I'm kind of just like, I just have to want to be there, that I'll pay that. And especially, like I say, and it's in London as well. The O2's just been like doing mad prices for every single like fine event that I've seen. The only event that I might do an outrageous stadium cost is only if, and hopefully, when Leon Edwards wins that, retains his title against Usman, and then, God willing, he gets the stadium fight he deserves. That I wouldn't mind paying, audacious prices for, only because there's a very much rarity of a like UFC stadium fight. But other than that, Usyk against Fury, I'm not coming out of pocket for that. And I can imagine that Wembley is gonna have to fork out quite a bit. But to be fair, like the Tottenham Stadium one,
they sold it.
No, they didn't. They didn't. Let me tell you something.
It's just like the
I'm not gonna say too much in it, but all I'm saying is that the locals got a nice treat in the area. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's fine, because I know the locals got a nice treat if they wanted for Floyd as well. But I don't even think that's the treat. Sometimes you gotta realistically put time out of your life to be able to go there. But that's fine. One last question, because you touched on UFC a bit, and obviously Jones did the transition where he became heavyweight champion as well, and now people look at him as the GOAT of the UFC and type of thing.
Yeah,
Usyk, if he does this undisputed stuff as well, he's done it at cruiserweight and then he does it over at heavyweight, where are we ranking him? Or I'm thinking, in this generation, I think you could put him potentially number 1.
he's the best heavyweight.
Yeah,
he's the best heavyweight. Fact, if you get undisputed, you're the best heavyweight. This and it's funny because obviously it was building up towards AJ Fury, and if Usyk gets this belt, he's the best heavyweight ever. Of this generation.
let's say I'll say 40, 50, Usyk as a whole in totality of boxing, where can we put him then because of the accomplishments that he can do? Would he be quite high up there?
Oh, he has to be top 10 minimum. Like, he's there by fire or by force. Like, you could even argue top 5. Because the fact that he became undisputed at cruiserweight and then done it away as well each time, and then he done the heavyweight titles in a sweep. If he gets that, he's undeniable. There's some great talents that's come during our time. If he manages to do that, that's crazy. And I'm presuming he's going to want to face Wilder straight after this as well, which I rate it. At the same time, I'm kind of like Usyk.
What's the point? Type of thing.
Yeah, it's too much of a slippery banana. Like, it's too. I mean, but he might just think, you know, I'm too highly skilled to get caught. Because the same thing will happen with Tyson Fury in him and Wilder's second fight, where it's just like he was just too skilled to be caught by one of those punches. So I'm rooting for Usyk. If he does get undisputed at heavyweight, then yeah, that's going to be a crazy fight. And then hopefully, then we'll get AJ versus Fury.
Just before we wrap up, I do want to touch on one little fight that happened yesterday. Dan Azeez, overseas in France, won his fight. European title, adding to the British titles as well that he's won. Do we see Buatsi in the future? What's next for him? He's 33 right now. I think Eddie touched on the fact that there was an offer for Buatsi and Bivol, but he kind of wants Azeez. Is there another British fight that we can see?
No comment on Buatsi until he decides what he's gonna do, because I'm done trying to figure out what he's been on. Like, I think a lot of people are like done trying to figure out Buatsi. You just have to leave him be and just wait for the decision to be made, because it's been such a stop-start career, and you don't know whether he's on his side, the promotion side. And I'm just like, at this point, the fact that he's a fellow Ghanaian, so I don't want to say nothing too brazy, but if it's true about the Bivol fights there, and you're talking about Dan Azeez, I get the whole thing of you wanting to be ready, but at the same time is not on your side. So yeah, Buatsi, I just want to wait and see what happens with him. He might, because I think some people are saying he might just go boxer, because then it's like he could be a priority like heavyweight there alongside Dan Azeez, and both of them could maybe go for world titles. So we'll see what happens. But with Buatsi, it's like now it's become a thing of urgency. Like, you're not, like, two Olympic cycles have gone by now since he was in the Olympics. And I feel like you can't keep on leaning on the Olympic hopeful now, because that time's gone. Like, Goliath fires now that guy when you're talking about Olympic hopefuls. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't keep on saying Olympic hopeful, because it's been so long since that happened. And now I don't want it to be like a Theo Walcott situation where, 20 years on, you're still saying, potential. Like, so with Buatsi, I just want to wait and see on what his decision is and then go from there. But I don't even know. But as for Dan Azeez, congratulations once again. I hope he takes a fight to like move himself up in the world title rankings, because he is fighting with an urgency that's like, yeah, I'm getting older. I need to start doing these, like racking up these belts and racking up these rankings right now. So shout out Dan Azeez for like the quiet, slow grind that he's been going on. So yeah.
I was going to say just quickly, as Ben Shalom boxer, they've done well by him to structure his career.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. Okay.
I'll say for sure what they've done with Dan Azeez, especially at building him up on the British level. Now he's got the European title, and then build him to. They got quite a roster. Like, even like with Chris Billam-Smith, I feel like if they can build him up to get a world title, that'd be good. They got Anthony Coley on the books. Hopefully, they got Richard Riakporhe, who I think they can bring back cruiserweight boxing to Britain if they play their cards right. So let's fingers crossed they do play their cards right.
Fingers crossed, and fingers crossed that we do get this undisputed fight. I would say it's 85% official, 15%
Until they walk, like most Fury fights, until they walk out, I won't believe it.
I get that as well. But I think if this fight does settle for the first quarter of boxing, I think it'd be pretty solid, because I think just before the week before,
we got Tank Garcia for that, man. No worries about that, man. We got Tank Garcia. I told you, I'm not paying. Listen, I'm speculating this for the show, but I am not giving this energy until I see them walking down. That's when I'll be like, okay, the fight's happening. Because even that's slightly how I feel about Tank Garcia. So now I'm just like, that's just certain boxing fights. I'm just like, let's wait until we see what happens. To be fair, the boxing fight I'm looking forward to most is anyway first Fulton Jr. I think that's on my birthday as well. That's what I'm looking forward to. Other than that, everything else, let's just patiently wait, because we know how the sport can get.
Nah, I hear that completely. But we are going to wrap up today's episode of the StayWeighedIn podcast. Ray, I'll let you rest up and just enjoy your Sunday. But as always, guys, if you enjoy the content, like, share, subscribe, drop comments, let us know about your Fury Usyk takes and where you see this fight potentially planning out as well. But as always, guys, love and peace and stay weighted.